Thank you. So I'm going to read a brief bio on Titi. Titiloluwa is a forward-thinking individual dedicated to innovative ways in solving contemporary challenges. He's currently on the IBM Skills team and working on the Digital Nation Africa project, a first of its kind in Africa, delivering on emerging technologies. This is set up to shape the world in this century. And Titi is a graduate from the Department of Urban and Regional Planning from the prestigious University of Lagos. Ever since he cut his teeth on data science and analytics, he has followed through on it and with devotion to machine learning. He loves meeting people, he loves traveling, he loves learning new things, especially around tech, and extending his tech knowledge and findings to people. And so, Titi, we are happy to meet you today. We are happy to learn from you, especially in the wake of the pandemic and where everything is going online and where data is being appreciated more. Or we want to know from you how the journey has been, a bit about yourself, and we delve right into the conversation about the IBM DNA platform. So, if you can hear me clearly, Titi, the floor is yours. Tell us about you, the work you do, and share with us on the platform.
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Titi and Marshall, and thank you very much, Lily, for that warm introduction. You actually scored like quite a good point in trying to pronounce my name, but it's still very okay. So I'm
Right.
Titiloluwa Animasaun, and I work with the IBM Digital Nation Africa. I work on the IBM Digital Nation Africa project, and I'm on the IBM investor relations team. And essentially, the focus of the team is to extend and expand digital literacy across Africa. So the mandate is to get every young African at least a skill on emerging technology, ranging um, artificial intelligence, data science and analytics, cybersecurity, quantum computing, um, and a host of others, blockchain as the case may be. So the crux of this conversation is on one thing, that is on how you can get to leverage the IBM Digital Nation Africa platform for your own optimization. So just like how Lee rightly said, in fact, the world has gotten to like a very strategic point whereby there is um, whereby the evolution, whereby there is a massive evolution. Let me just put it that way. Whereby there is a massive evolution, and in that regard, a whole lot of things have changed, ranging from how we access healthcare down to how we work, how we get to how we go about our daily tasks and activities. So a whole lot of things have changed, and with the way things have happened in the world, it looks like what has changed has come to stay. So we need to orientate ourselves about or around this new normal and begin to look in the direction or in the dimension of what the world is going to be. So there's a global conversation around how so many things are going to become obsolete and about how so many things have come to stay. So prior to this time, let me say about 2 years ago, blockchain was never the main buzz, or yes, blockchain was never the main buzz when it comes to technological conversations. Say 3, 4 years ago, it wasn't the major conversation. But now almost every buzzer headline is blockchain, blockchain, blockchain. And what is actually pushing the blockchain movement is just a very small fraction of it, which is cryptocurrency. And it would delight you to know here in this session that cryptocurrency is just an application that leverages the blockchain. So the blockchain actually sets to deliver so much more beyond cryptocurrency, but cryptocurrency so far is still leveraging blockchain. So I would want to use this medium once again to welcome everybody present on this call. And if you have questions, you have comments, please feel free to type it on your device, put it on your laptop, put it on your phones, write it down on a piece of paper or in your book. Just ensure that it is captured somewhere so you can remember, because we'll be receiving these feedbacks as questions or comments after the after the session, excuse me. And if at any point, and if at sorry, so up to the next thing, I would want to call it ground rules because it will sound a little, it will make it look very very stringent, like, but then if you would be try as much as possible to ensure that your microphone is always muted at all times. Try as much as possible to ensure that, oh, if at any point you're actually going to be talking, you ensure that your background is actually very quiet, or there's a minimal form of noise emanating from your background. And if you so wish, it's okay for you to have your video on, but for the sake of other people, to ensure that we minimize distractions, it's okay for you to have your videos off. So once again, you're welcome to this conversation, and let's go. So
So,
excuse me. So IBM has
sorry,
been in Africa for a couple of decades now.
Titi, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I'm with
So,
you, Lily.
right. So
Yes, I'm with you.
you can amplify your voice a bit more, and I'm going to make you host. So when you want to share your screen, you can go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, perfect. Okay, all right. So can we all hear me clearly now? Is this okay, Lily?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's
All
clear.
right. All right, thank you. So, once again, you're welcome. So, like I was saying, prior to this time, I said IBM has been in Africa for a couple of decades now, and owing to our presence in Africa, we've been able to spot two recurring challenges, or I would actually always put it as two giant challenges. So, these challenges are not just giants in their form; they are also recurring in their act. So, and what are these two challenges? Amongst the myriads of challenges that exist on the African landscape, that does not mean to say that there are no opportunities or there are no resources on the African landscape. But then, amongst the myriads of challenges that exist on the African landscape, there are two pertinent or two giant challenges. Firstly, that is the high level of digital illiteracy that exists on the African continent, and the second is the high level of unemployment that exists on the African continent. And in a bid to ensure that this is getting decimated and this is not going to be the way Africa would always be, IBM actually ensured that, excuse me, so IBM actually ensured that some mechanisms are actually put in place to reduce the high level of, first of, digital illiteracy, then consequently the high level of unemployment that exists in Africa. So to cover this was the IBM Digital Nation Africa platform introduced. So the IBM Digital Nation Platform Africa simply is a web is a cloud and AI-based platform that hosts or that houses a ton of emerging technologies. So the emerging technologies ranging from artificial intelligence down to cyber security, up onto blockchain, down to quantum computing and cloud and DevOps and a host of others are all housed on this platform. So the essence of this platform is to scale up Africans in emerging technologies. So it would interest you to know that by statistics that in the next 10 years, most of the jobs that we currently have now will no longer be existent. And in the next 10 years, there'll be so many jobs that will be created that were never even known before time, or that is not even known right now. So the essence of this conversation is not to scare you, but to ensure that you are adequately prepared for what lies ahead. So, irrespective of whatever value offering it is that you are extending to society, whether it is products, whether it's a service, or whether it's a combination of the two, product and services, you to stay ahead of the game, to ensure that you are not um, gradually moving into oblivion. What happens is that you begin to integrate technology into everything that you do. So if all you do, I'm not so familiar with how Ghana works. So most of my examples will be based here in Lagos, Nigeria. So let's take for an example. I have a store in Idumota in Lagos. Yeah. So Idumota is like the CBD of Lagos, right? And it's it's majorly known for the sales of clothes, Ankara, lace, jacquard, brocade, different kind of clothes, different materials, right? I have such store in Idumota. Definitely, I'm making sales, and it's been the hub of commercialization. That means I have people that I get to attract to from all over Lagos and probably all over Nigeria, right? But then imagine I have that same presence online. That means my boundaries are not limited. So in that regard, you begin to see that it is sacrosanct, or it is very important to every individual across whatsoever industry, health, insurance, finance, product, services, to have themselves equipped with a skill or two in technology. So right about now, I'll be sharing my screen with us. So this the essence of the screen is to guide our conversation around around the platform. And if you have questions, feel free to write them down. And shortly after the session, we'll get to attend to each one of them. So let me get share my screen. So can we all see my screen?
Yes,
Lily.
and yes, and please amplify a bit more. Titi, can you hear me?
At the top of my voice. Okay, but then I'll keep amplifying to ensure that we're good. All right. So we all can still see my screen, right?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
All right. All right. Okay. 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 So let me just move ahead. So like like I made mention of, the platform is actually big on three major things, right? Gaining skills on emerging technologies, innovation, and you getting to find jobs on the platform. So gaining skills, the platform is open to about 8 emerging technologies, and that is what I've mentioned earlier: AI, blockchain, cybersecurity, cloud, coding, um, quantum computing, and the rest that exist on the platform, right? And then the next thing that we get to introduce to people, or we tell people, is after getting yourself familiar with these technologies, you should be able to innovate. You should be able to build something that is worthy of that is a worthy solution. And then thirdly, you can get to leverage the platform to search for global, sorry, Africa-centric openings. So what that means is that openings that are peculiar to the skills that you have, you can find it within Africa. Um, so quickly, this is like a glance of what the platform extends to us, right? So we're big on skills, it's big on innovation, and it's equally big on jobs. So I'll run through these three. I hope time will permit us to actually finish the conversation in this presentation very quickly, right? So skills. The platform is segmented, or is categorized into three functioning parts. That is um, innovator, explorer, innovator, and then the new caller. So the explorer in itself is where you get introduced to emerging technologies that I made mention of. So what cuts it out, or what differentiates it, is the time duration, or is the duration rather. It's a 30-minute introductory session whereby you have um, a very good understanding of what each of these emerging technologies are. So at least you wouldn't be coming out of each of these tracks the same way you entered. So let's take for an instance, I know I've been hearing the buzz around blockchain. I don't know what blockchain is. So all I just need to do is to go to the platform. I have information on blockchain, or I go to the Explorer side of the platform. I see a I go to Explorer side of the platform, I click on blockchain, and after doing that, I am at least after that 30 minutes of introductory video, I should be able to hold a conversation around blockchain. I should be able to, with my 2 feet on the ground, look someone in the eye and tell someone what blockchain is not, with my heart ready to learn from people around me too as well. So those are like the segment. So those are like the segments that exist on the platform. And then innovation, that is where you get that's on the innovator side to things. So during this conversation, I would gradually lead us into each and every of these categories that exist on the platform. Right. So this is the Explorer. Like I rightly said earlier on, the Explorer. Okay. So the Explorer is very, very brief. Um, all the emerging technologies on the Explorer platform are 30 minutes. So, and after the completion of the 30 minutes of learning, you are invited to take an assessment. After the assessment, you are granted a badge. So, the uniqueness of this is that you can easily get the essence of the Explorer is to actually fan up your interest in a particular emerging technology. So you might actually be confused. Okay, so there's so many buzz around me. Everybody, there are so many people talking about AI, so many people talking about data science, so many people are talking about blockchain, so many people are talking about cybersecurity, and I am confused. I don't even know what they are in the first place. So what do? I go to the platform. I try to have a proper understanding of what each and every of these technologies are, so I can go ahead with picking an interest. So I just don't go ahead without knowing what each and every of these technologies are. And then at the end of the day, I'm seeing that I have a block that, oh, I'm not really interested in something like this. I wish I knew earlier. So in order to reduce that wasted time, it is good for you to go to the Explorer side to things on the platform, and then get acquainted with each and every of the emerging technologies, and you can proceed with where you have an interest, not taking away the fact that all these technologies are interwoven. So there's something I said, no technology actually works or stand in isolation. Um, AI leverages data science a lot. You can use data science to build very, very nice and impressive machine learning models and what have you. Same thing too for IoT. It doesn't stand alone. It leverages data science in some cases. So moving on from that, we go to Innovator. The Innovator is where you have much more extensive and much more robust learning on the platform. And unlike the Explorer category, it is not 30 minutes. You have it for nothing less than 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes, up until 5 hours of learning on the Innovator side to things. So this is where you actively participate with virtual machines, actively participate with labs. You get to play with real life data sets, like I would always say, because I really love the field of data science. So let's take for an instance, you are trying to find up your knowledge in data science. You wouldn't be dealing with hypotheses anymore, right? You have access to real life data sets. You would have access to real life IDEs such as Python, Python notebook hosted on the cloud for you to run your learnings and to skill up yourself. So it's the same thing for the techniques that you'd have to make use of, whether it is regression, whether it is classification, whatever it is, whether it's an SVM model, whatever it is, you have it ready for you on the platform. And if at any point you would actually want to scale your learning, that is you want to use more than the required space actually granted. Okay, let me chill, and I'll get there shortly. So then let me go to the new color. New color, like I rightly said earlier on, is where you have all the everything that has to do with jobs. But then it is not just restricted to jobs. We have further learnings on the new color. So the new color, the way it is structured, you have much more extensive period of learning of up until 10 hours of learning on the same platform. So so currently the platform has over 270 plus hours of learning. and we are still adding more and more courses to the platform. So and apart from that, on the new collar side to things, you can get to have an AI interview. So the AI interview will point in the direction. The AI interview would help you. The AI interview simulates rather a real life interview session. So, and apart from that, you can get to do a skill gap analysis with the new collar category. So I'll be talking more about these things as we progress. So this is the platform at a glance, right? This is the platform's overview. Firstly, you would want to understand that it is online and self-paced. So I would want to assume some people on the call, I might be wrong. Some people, I don't really know the demographics of the people on the call right now, but I would want to assume that, I would want to assume that you are, um, I would want to assume some of us are students, right? So if we have students on the call, what happens is
Yes,
this,
please.
that okay, perfect. So if there are students on the call, definitely when you wake in the morning, like I'm assuming everything is like normal, and even with the new normal, I don't believe that some institutions have resumed and they've resumed online, right? So if that's the case, mornings definitely would be for lectures, depending on how the schedule of your department is like, right? So after you're done with your morning sessions or you're done with your morning classes that spills over to the afternoon, you can just set out an hour or two for for your learning on the platform in the evening or in the night. That's to tell you how self-paced it is. There are no time lapses. There's nothing to kick you out of the platform if you don't complete it before a particular time. But then I equally get to tell people that what is the essence of learning if it's not at a sustained pace. So it is very important for you to build a structure around what you're learning. If it is okay, I might not log on to the platform because I have very busy Mondays, I have very busy Tuesdays. I'll just log on to the platform on Wednesday and I'll follow through on the platform for 2 hours from Wednesday to Friday because it is more relaxed for me. So it is very, very self-paced and everything you're doing is online. So you need not fear about, oh, okay, it is on a particular device, it is not on a particular device. You need not fear about that. So, and then the next thing is the journeys. The journeys is segmented into three. That is the explorer, the innovator, and then the new caller. The explorer side to things is what I've made mention of to introduce you to all these technologies as it is. The journeys in itself, um, the innovator rather, that is where you actually actively get to participate with many of these machines, many of real life simulations of things that you need to learn. And then moving over to the learning path, there are different learning paths already designed on the platform. So it's a drop down menu. You see the learning path and you can get to follow through on it, right? Then you have the IBM digital badges. The digital badges, the essence of the digital badges is for the purpose of verification, right? So once you are done with a particular learning track, something to verify you is what the IBM digital badge is for. Take for an instance, I've been able to complete a learning on data science in let me say regression. I am issued a I'm issued a learning badge. So the IBM digital badge is issued by a third party company known as Acclaim. So once you're done, um, okay, thank you, Lily. That actually got me distracted for a while. Okay, so once you're
Sorry,
done,
Titi, let me chip
once
this
you're
in.
once
Titi, Titi.
yes, I'm with you.
So
Yes.
we have 9 minutes to the end. Once it ends, we'll all join using the very same link.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, that is fine.
All
That
right.
is fine. All right.
Thank
All right. So, like I said, that's what the digital badge is all about, to verify that you've been able to complete a course and or a learning track, and that you are proficient in that particular field or in that particular skill. There'll be much more shared about the digital badges later on and how you can get to utilize it. And then we have the Cloudlight account. The essence of the Cloudlight account is to is to scale your learning, is to scale your innovation. So the Cloud Light account doesn't it gives you access to all of IBM cloud services that exist on IBM Cloud, ranging from machine learning down to cloud itself. Different, and we have Red Hat services, we have some Linux services, all available on the platform in itself. That is IBM Cloud. So this is where you actually get to build and innovate and equally get to learn. And then we have a job advisory. So we have a virtual assistant and the live support. So if at any point the virtual assistant cannot go forward with your queries, it escalates it to a live agent that is ready to receive your queries around the navigation of the platform. And then it is a multilingual support system that we have on the platform. So you're in Accra, you're in Lagos, you're wherever in Africa, but then you have friends in French speaking countries, you have friends in, let's say, Arabic speaking countries in Africa, you have friends in Portuguese speaking countries in Africa. You can extend the same platform to them, and all they have to do is need not to worry about if it is English. All they have to do is to just click and change everything on the platform have been deconstructed into these three languages. And then there's the dashboard side to things whereby you can see your progress, your badges. You can equally get to discover great tools that are offered by IBM, and you can get to see all your bookmark jobs, right? And then you can get to equally search for all your learnings on the platform. So these are all the technologies or the emerging technologies available on the platform. That is the Explorer side to things: coding, cloud, AI, Internet of Things, blockchain, data science, analytics, cybersecurity, quantum computing. So these are all the technologies available, and each are 30 minutes multimedia content type, and the videos are equally downloadable. And if you're so concerned about data, because obviously data is quite expensive, or it's expensive, right? So you can get to download the transcripts. After downloading the transcript is a word for word translation of everything that is being said in the video. So you can just study the transcript and you can still go ahead to write the assessment, and you discover that you still aced the assessment and earned the badge, right? So this is the innovator category at a glance. Excuse me, please. So the innovator category at a glance actually introduces is should I say is fractioned into three major components. Firstly, that is get inspired, right? So if at some of us actually have so many things in our heads that we don't exactly know how to move, right? So the get inspired section actually shows you previous solutions that has been built and implemented globally. So you can actually take cues from it. There are a lot of solutions that have been built on the platform that have been built by IBM, also in conjunction with other organizations, that you can actually take a look at, and it can spark off an idea in your head. Oh, why can't I build a chatbot that could be integrated into the government's citizen system? Why can't I build something, an IoT system that actually connects between different devices? So they are all different inspiration content on the platform that you can get to learn from. Then design thinking. I'm sure some of us on the call, and I would want to assume that we all have heard of design thinking. So simply put, design thinking is a user-centered kind of approach towards dealing with challenges. It is whereby the user is king. You are placing so much emphasis on the user that you are beginning to not see any other thing but everything that revolves around the user. trying to know his pain points, know what he feels, how he says what he says, what does he say when he feels bad, what does he think, everything. It's a totally user-centric kind of approach towards dealing with challenges. And the good side to design thinking is that you come up with not just solutions, but sustainable solutions, right? And then the last thing that you get to do unavoidably is you building something. So if you build okay, so if you build something over time, right? The beauty of the platform is that you can actually, let's take for an instance, data science. You can get to download your Jupyter notebook and still work on it outside the platform. You can get to download your Jupyter notebook and use it as a showcase to show what you built to prospective employees, to potential employers and the rest. So unavoidably you get to build on the platform using the innovator category. And then the new color, right, is it provides you to extensive learning on nothing less than 3 to 10 hours of learning, and you get to earn badges too as well. And like I rightly said, the new color category side to things equally contains something that is very, very important, and that is the ability to find jobs using the job advisory tool. So the job advisory tool simply is a way for you to search and connect with pools of jobs relevant to your skills and relevant to your career. Now, let's take for an instance, like I said, we're still using someone that has core interest in data science analytics. If that person thinks that, oh, I am confident enough to apply for jobs, the person can go onto the platform probably after learning a couple of resources on the platform, digesting it, being able to build some things, adding extra knowledge to it, goes on the platform. If it is going to be a temporary role, fine. It clicks on, you can get to filter your job searches, right? You can get to filter it for temporary roles, that's short-term roles. You're looking for permanent roles, the same thing, the country you're looking at, and the country that you intend to work in and things like that. So you can get to filter your job search. And that thing you can get to do is you can search by location or by the company they are looking to the company they are looking out for. And then you can find the jobs that best match the skills you have. And ultimately, what IBM Watson powers the platform. So it helps in suggesting openings that are peculiar to your growth and accent, your personal growth and accent as it is. So you can equally get to do an AI interview, right? And you can equally get to do a skill gap analysis that shows you what you are missing out in your skill sets. So let's take for an instance, still the data science dude, right? Goes on to the platform, he um, he carries out a skill gap analysis, and then we should all know, we probably would know that by now Python is an in-demand skill if you are talking about data science analytics. There are other tools. Maybe it has the artillery of R. R Studio is very, very proficient in R. Is equally proficient in Apache Spark. Is good with my SQL, but then is deficient in Python. It suggests